everyone, welcome to my first video in my two-part series on solubility and net ionic equations. Before we get into the video, let's just take a quick minute to review everything we need to know. Ionic bonding, which your teacher has hopefully talked about, is the bond between a metal and a non-metal, which we then refer to as a salt. A salt, you say, like this stuff here? And to that I say yes. Common table salt is actually sodium chloride, and would you look at that, a cation and an anion. If you're not following what I just said, I will go ahead and leave some links for you down below or on the little eye thingy so you can check them out. And with that information out of the way, we can get started on solubility and net ionic equations. Now, solubility is a pretty big topic on its own, but today we are only focusing on solubility with two salt reactants. For net ionic equations to happen, we first need two salts to dissolve in the solvent, which is usually water, but sometimes this doesn't happen. To help us explain this, let's get the help of Taylor Swift. Now, generally speaking, no matter who she's with, her relationships always fall apart, or in other words, they dissolve. This is also true of the group 1 ions as well as ammonium. In any ionic compounds with these group 1 ions, the compound will always be soluble in water. Once these ions have separated, you can write their charges and add a little AQ at the end to indicate that they're aqueous, meaning dissolved in water. But hold on a second, not all salts dissolve in water. To illustrate this point, let's think of the greatest love story of our time, Jim Halpert and Pamela Beasley. No matter what situation they encounter, they always stay together and they never break apart. Similarly, many salts will stick together and not dissolve, instead forming an insoluble precipitate, which is a solid. For example, most salt containing hydroxide ions will not dissolve in water, like iron 2 hydroxide, which is insoluble. So you ask, how are we supposed to know if a certain salt will dissolve or not? Well, this depends mostly on your class. Some teachers will offer you a set of solubility guidelines to help you out, so you can just check whether or not the salt will dissolve. If not, well, sucks to be you, pal. You're gonna have to memorize some rules. If you're interested in how I memorize the solubility rules, just leave a like or mention it in the comments below and I will get to it. And that concludes our discussion of solubility for today. Please subscribe if you're interested in watching the second part of this video where I talk about how net ionic equations work and how to write them and the fastest way to get them done to make sure you finish your tests and all. You guys just saw how simply scientific solubility can be. I'll see you next time.